us. And also, yeah, by the way, feel free to add your job title. You could just add your name and headline, and then you could add your job title. Click on the three dots beside your microphone.
Got you. Let me work on that.
Thank you.
Should I just put a Moonveil CEO
Of
MJ?
course. Yes. I'm going to,
Got it.
yeah, start our
Let me
countdown
see.
video.
What is that setting? When I mean setting, it only says camera and audio.
Oh,
Let me
okay.
see.
Then let me help you to edit it right now
Okay. Yeah, that'd be great.
because I could also edit it on my side. Let me do that. Okay. Moonveil. Moonveil.
I
Perfect.
think we should be live now, right?
Yes, we are live now. I'm going to play the countdown video.
Absolutely.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our audio live show across different social media platforms. Today, we are very happy to invite Moonveil CEO MJ over here to join us and share a lot of amazing update from their ecosystem because I heard that there are just so many things, right? So we definitely would like to ask MJ and yeah to share all of the exciting updates with us from the Moonveil ecosystem. And now we would like to invite you to introduce yourself and your project to our audience first. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Moonlight, for inviting me here, and it's my pleasure to talk to Ultiverse community. So yeah, quick introduction about myself. So my name is MJ, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Moonveil. So quick intro about my background. I started my career in traditional finance as an investment banker for about 3 years, and then transitioned my career from banking to gaming. So I joined Riot Games around 2013, starting as a community manager role, and then stayed there for about 7 years. Ended up as a China general manager or China CEO, managing the co-publishing of League of Legends with Tencent and Garena. Also, I was the founding producer of League of Legends Wild Rift from scratch. So my team is also consists of a game dev veteran from Riot and Tencent, with DeFi project founder join us as Web3 producer. Also, to claim myself as a super hardcore gamer, so used to be a competitive level player at StarCraft 1, used to be a WCG candidate. It's called World Cyber Game. So I represented China to fight against Korean people back to about 2 decades ago.
Wow. Seriously, that is just amazing. I didn't expect that. Wow.
Yeah, big surprise.
Yes, this is certainly a big surprise. Wow. Amazing record. Well, I certainly yeah do hope that we are going to learn more about Lee's part and wow, and we should definitely schedule another video AMA section for you to showcase your skills. That is this is really
Yeah,
great.
absolutely. We can do a streaming for my StarCraft 2. I'm still a master level StarCraft 2 player.
Oh my goodness, we need you because yeah, well, because I have been searching for great streamers to join our channel and then to play different kinds of games to our audience over here. Yeah, to showcase a variety of projects. So yeah, if MJ you are. If I know you're very busy, right? So if sometime later, like you're willing to, hey, Moonlight, I have time right now, so we could just do it because I am basically over here online streaming almost 24/7 and I have already spent over 6,000 hours on Binance Live. So if you
Oh,
have time, just feel free to send me a message and we can schedule it really quick.
yeah. So I will take that offer, and starting from now, I will only stream my own game from Moonville site. So
Of
definitely happy to do
course. Of
that.
course, yes, let's do it. Let's do it. That would be cool. And so, since we talk about the Moonville's game, right, could you please tell us more about the unique feature of this game? For example, we know that it's free to play, right? And how about other features that you'd like to share with our community members? Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, very happy to. So before talking about the specific game, just want to give you guys a high level overview of how we want to, what type of game that we are trying to shape, right? So, all of our games are designed to be in the mid-core category, so prioritizing mobile first, mainly focusing on mobile platform with a single game session lasting about like 5 to 7 minutes. So, they are meant to be casual, so easy to pick up without the need for tutorial, basically. And some of rules, we want players to be able to enjoy the game at once. But if you want to dig deeper, they can also spend like hundreds of hours to explore the depth of the gameplay. So with that said, right now, I think the game that we are promoting right now is called AstrArk, which is the first game from the Moonveil side. So AstrArk is a strategy tower defense PvP battle game. So you can probably tell from the game clip and also the recently started alpha test that tower defense is more about the game format. But I think the game itself will mainly focusing on how players can come up and construct their crew and leading towards more of a deck building gameplay, coupled with real-time decision making during the game. So I think we aim to leverage the AstrArk to create a high-quality game that are genuinely fun, easy to get into, while also provide the depth and ability for deep asset trading and also the integration with Web3 ecosystem. So go back to your question. AstrArk is more of a pop apocalypse theme, space exploration style game, but focusing on the characters and also the granular level storytelling, while leverage the strategic counterplay among each other. The alpha test started from yesterday, so feel free to download and try the game by yourself.
Wow, certainly. So over here, I'm also sharing screen with our audience because I want Ben to pay attention to our Moonveil's official Twitter handle. And friends, if you haven't given Moonveil a follow, be sure to do that. Utilizing cutting edge technology and aspire to craft to wow top notch gaming experience that blend casual flexibility and authentic depth. Building just like MJ just mentioned about right AstrArk, right? And Lee's, well, I definitely wanted to check it out. And I know that today MJ cannot share screen because you're using a mobile phone. But next time, if you are able to connect with your laptop, feel free to share your game and then play it on side for us. That would be awesome.
Yeah, yeah, will do. Yeah, I think it's my bad. I didn't.
Oh, that's okay.
I underestimated the potential capability and the capacity that we can showcase in this live stream. Otherwise, I'll just stream the game directly.
Oh, yeah, of course. So let me see. Maybe I could also find. Let me just find a good teaser over here because I went to AstrArk's account right now. So is this one that we could
Yep.
share with our audience? And oh, okay, this is cool. I'm going to unmute. Yeah, accidentally muted this. Let's start from the very beginning. Oh wow.
Yeah, this is us. Yeah, I hope you enjoy it. Yeah, I hope you enjoy it. Hello, am I back?
Oh, sorry, I mute myself. I was keep talking. I was keep talking. Oh my goodness. Okay, thank you for reminding me. Yeah, I muted myself because during the gameplay, I was just wanted to really pay attention to that, and I muted myself. Okay. Anyways, so coming back over here, a few questions to ask that we wanted to learn more about, just like a purpose we talk about, right? feature of this game. For example, like how could people participate, and how about any rewards or any unique campaigns that you are currently organizing right now for your community members or for the players? Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So a short answer to you. So there's a short term and there's long term. So for the short term, the alpha test of the AstrArk just started from yesterday. And we are looking at a Genesis NFT free mint around later this month. The date is to be announced very soon. But during the playtest, that we will grant out 50 guaranteed whitelist. So it will be so there will be a challenging the boss events coming up very soon. For the alpha test, it will last for about 10 days. And right now, the first few days is for players to get familiar with the gameplay, understanding the deck, coming up with their own strategy. And then starting from a few days later, so you can check the announcement. It will start from the 23rd. We will have a challenging the boss event or campaign within the game. And those who get the top 50 of the ranking will get a guaranteed whitelist for the upcoming NFT mint. So stay tuned. We are already being super surprised by how passionate the players are to join our game. So even in the first 12 hours, we saw the players coming in. For each of the player, on average, they play like over 20 to 25 games in the first 12 hours. So we definitely look forward for more players coming in, and potentially the NFT would be a pretty strong rewards. In my personal opinion, this is a short term. And in the long term, I think our philosophy is that we would love to embrace the players who join our ecosystem and encourage them to co-build with us together to contribute to the community. And I think my personal opinion, which is our team's philosophy as well, right, is that I think we want to embrace the community by recognizing every single type of contribution should be recognized and embraced, right? So for a contributor of a gaming ecosystem, you either, for example, spending a lot of time to play or providing feedback for us to make the game better or help us to evangelize among the community or even contributing the money to the game system to help us to grow bigger. So every single type of contribution should be better rewarded. That's why if you are going to the Moonveil website, you can see that we are trying to anchor all the rewards by tracking the player's identity by a Moonbeam loyalty program. The loyalty program is mainly more of an anchor for us to understand how much time you spend, how much contribution you're making, and along the way, how you help us to be better. And all those things will come up with more rewards being in the format of on-chain assets and off-chain assets in the long term.
That is very nice. And you just mentioned that there will be a collection launching at the end of this month, right? Do you mind to provide more detail about that, and what's the utility for the AstrArk NFT drop? And also, are there still any chances to get whitelist spots? Thank you.
Of course, there is, right? So if you're going to our website, you can see that the NFT free mint campaign have already started.
Uh-huh.
So the Genesis NFT that we are going to launch very soon is called Tetra. And the Tetra NFT is going to be a series. So a couple of things. One, I would say it's around the same time during the alpha test of the AstrArk, and of course it will have a lot of in-game utility implication for the AstrArk game for sure. But I think the way that we are looking at the Tetra NFT is more of a identity NFT or an ecosystem level NFT that will cover the perks and rewards potentially for all the other games in the future, not only AstrArk. And as a sneak peek, so we actually talked about that during our PR announcement as well. Right now, we have two games being developed on parallel. So AstrArk is the first one that we are revealing, and there is another secret and surprise game that we will reveal very soon. So keep tuned about that. I personally love both of them, but the second game is to me is more interesting and exciting, maybe of personal taste. And then go back to what we are talking about. So this is for the upcoming NFT Tetra. It will be an ecosystem NFT. The second part is that I think for every single on-chain assets, including NFT, maybe in the future SBT, SFT, potentially ERC20 as well, we want to make that more as a utility-centric approach, right? So we don't want to be only setting that as a high-quality PFP from a visual perspective or only something as a meme. We want that to have strong utility in the game or in the ecosystem. So with that said, for the Tetra series, it will be a three-tier design, and it's a mergeable, combinable NFT. So the free mint that we will have for the first 800 would be the tier one. So tier one would be the lowest tier, but it could be merged from tier one to tier two. So full tier one would be merged to one tier two, etc. And the tier two could be merged to tier three. And for the tier two and tier three, we want to leverage that to provide a lot of the in-game utility and the in-ecosystem utility, including, for example, early access to the game for sure, by default airdrop for the future whitelist and also ERC20 potentially, early access for all the other events and campaign, and also the access to our financialization tool in the ecosystem, etc. But the perks level would vary from tier one to tier two and tier three. So we want the tier two and tier three, as well as tier one, would be a strong validator for those who are joining our community to enjoy potentially how the rewards could be based on their contribution together with the NFTs holding.
Wow, that is nice. And so, I would like to ask another question related to what you mentioned about, because you say like the collection, NP collection is called Tetra, right? But there is
Yeah.
also talking about Avatar's life and enter Tetra to proceed. What does that mean? Like, does that mean you need to own an MT in order to play, or does a game also? There's another game also called Tetra, the same name with the
Um,
collection.
Yes and no, right? So there's a couple of things. I think let's talk about the framework or the high level holistically first, right? Is that I think the way that we are thinking about on-chain assets is more about how they can provide the value for the contributor, for the community participants, for the user, for the player who can enjoy that. So with that said, I think we're trying to look at that from different tiers of the on-chain assets. Let's talk about NFT, right? So potentially there would be a couple of things. One is the top level would be more of an identity NFT that will cover the whole ecosystem utility, which means that it can validate the identity as a gamer, as a user who join our ecosystem. And the second type of NFT is I call that ecosystem utility NFT, or as a financialization implication NFT. Potentially with the NFT, it will empower the users or the players to join us by enjoying different type of value accrual approach, either for example staking or lending, etc., and empower that to make it happen. And the third tier of the NFT, third level of the NFT, are more of the in-game NFT, or we would like to call that dynamic NFT, right? So it's not going to be more of a profile or weapon only, but more of something that they can track. For example, your in-game behavior, your win rate, your track record, history, and then that can contribute back to your in-game experience. So that's how we think about on-chain assets. So go back to the question is that we don't want to make the NFT's ownership or the holding as a blocker for players for users to enjoy the game, to enjoy the experience, because we want them to fall in love with our product, with our ecosystem, because the game itself is good. While by playing the game, they can also enjoy the benefits, enjoy the rewards in the long term. So it's not going to be a blocker. However, holding the NFT will have different type of integration based on your identity, right? So right now we started to gradually talk about that, but the way that we are building our loyalty program or the ecosystem program is more like you can track your identity progressing and contribution based on the moonbeam points that we've been talking about. Well, at every single point, based on, for example, what type of behavior that you have, what type of campaign that you participate in, what type of gamers you are, you will be able to validate the identity based on the badge. At this moment, it's more of a off-chain thing, but we are thinking about putting some of the badge as either SPT or potentially SFT in the long term. The badge is to validate who you are and why you're contributing to the community, at what level you are making the achievement, and then the holding of the NFT will have chemistry with them, right? So for example, if you are, let's say, kind of evangelizer, always helping us to create great content of the game, while in the same time you are holding the Tetra NFT, that will help you to create better rewards or beneficial in the long term if you keep doing what you are good at to contribute to the community.
Ah, got it. Thank you so much for the clarification. And let's watch the video over here together for our audience, because these also look very cool. Let me start it. Yeah, this is a very cool teaser. Let I could just watch it.
Thanks.
Thank you so much. Yeah, and also, friends, once again, wanted to let everyone know, like today we are having MJ Lee Moonveil CEO over here talking with us, and there are actually two men official Twitter handles. One is the Moonveil, the other is AstrArk. And friends, if you haven't followed any of them, be sure to give them a follow. I'm going to share my screen again because this is a cool game, and Moonveil, they are building more and more games. There will be another game. So does that mean like your team will create another Twitter handle, or you will just use Moonveil or AstrArk's handle to push out another game?
Um, to be super honest, we're still thinking about that, but highly possible gonna be a different account because the audience from gamer side could be different. The category and the genre could be different. So we want the players of each of the game. So put it this way, right? We don't want to force gamers to enjoy every single game that we are launching because they will have their own taste. And for those who are either a fan of AstrArk or a fan of let's say the future game, right now we call that Project B, they can always find the place that they can find the content, the release, and the key information of the game. While in the same time, they are still the fan of Moonveil as a studio or the Moonveil as an ecosystem, and they can contribute to the community, to the ecosystem, while also in the same time enjoying the perks from there too.
Got it. Thank you so much for the clarification. Yes, and I certainly, yeah, also support that if there's a new game, just build another Twitter handle. Although it takes time, right, to start from scratch. However, indeed, if the game's genre are really different, then of course a brand new one will be suitable for different players. And thank you for the clarification. And I'm once again going to share screen, friends. Over here, listen, Moonville's official Twitter handle. Be sure to give them a follow. Already follow it. Yeah, follow it for a long time. And also AstrArk over here. I'm also following it. And friends,
Oh,
if
I
you want
appreciate
to,
that.
yeah, because we have been pushing AstrArk within our community for a while, and we also organize raffle, right, giveaway the empty white spot to the members, and they're also really interested in the game as well. Ultiverse, we don't just build our own game, we also collaborate with a lot of different projects in the ecosystem, and we also, yeah, promote many different projects. So that's why I'm spending a lot of time, right? And this is like my 1400th AMA section during my time in Web3 space. So I'm very, yeah, happy to learn a lot more amazing projects just like AstrArk and Moonveil. And also, once again, inviting MJ to come back next time to play your game with us. Yeah, that would be cool. Teach us how to play the game. That'll be amazing.
Absolutely, you got my commitment.
Thank you so much. Especially you are a pro gamer. We definitely wanted to have a long term conversation
Yeah.
with you. And previously you mentioned about community, right? So how did you build a community? And we are definitely also interested in learn more about the loyalty system. How does that work? For example, long term members, what kind of utilities they could get, what kind of benefit they could get. Especially we are in Web3, right? And to be honest, a lot of us are here try to make money, right? Because here we got more opportunities than in traditional spaces. We would not, well, the players, the buyers or the participant in traditional Web2 games, they have no, definitely no way, only just spending money, right? To buy the skin and to buy
Hmm.
different, yeah, weapons, yeah, or yeah, etc. Right? Different tools in the game, but could not really make money out of playing a game, right? So how
Yep.
would you build your community, and also how would you reward your community members or players? Thank you.
Yeah. So before we talk about how we do that, I want to share some of the thoughts from my side, like how we came over here to Web3. I think exactly since you just mentioned, right, from my background, and also as you mentioned, lots of the gamers only spend money in the past. I think the problem is there are two things I want to share. One is from gamer side. Uh, I think the general thoughts from my side is that I think gamers in general should be better treated, should be better recognized. In the past, if we are looking at, for example, like League of Legends, Overwatch, etc., I would say only like top 1% or 0.5% of the players are able to benefit from the game that they are passionate about or spend a lot of money in as either a competitive player or as a streamer. But look at those games, right? So for League of Legends, StarCraft, Overwatch, Call of Duty, etc., there are like millions or tens of millions gamers who spend a lot of money, a lot of time on the game in the past like years or even decades. I think the gamers should be better recognized based on their contribution because they are those community, they are those the core people to make the game better, right? Without them, the game won't be that popular today, that successful today. So I think in general, gamers should be treated better. And two is it's also funny because it might be because of my weird background of traditional finance plus gaming. I don't think the purpose of making money is wrong. If we are looking at the capital markets, right? Capital markets or the financialization got a lot of controversial discussion in the past 200 years. Even today, some of the regions, some of the religions doesn't even allow, for example, lending or liability, right? But if we are looking at capital markets, it's actually helping the capital flow or the capital efficiency among the industry, among the society, to help those companies who really need money and would have the potential to contribute to the society to be more successful in a much faster way, right? Think about that. For today, if someone got a real good idea who want to make a great game, potentially that game can contribute a lot of value. How they can find the right capital to fund them to make the game successful, right? If I were the person that I'm an investor and I can dig out that type of potential opportunity, I want to ride the journey with them together and enjoy the success with them. And vice versa, as a developer, if I want to deliver a good game, I would love to share the whole journey with those people who want to ride the journey with me and enjoy the success together as well, right? So I think that's the thoughts that how drove us to the Web3 game. And go back to your question directly, then, is that I think community matters most. I would say the same level as the core gameplay. Without the community, we can't make the game successful. Right now in the gaming industry, we do see a lot of people are putting themselves within the room, trying to develop the game for 2 to 3 years in a very close way, and then bet whether it will be a blockbuster when it's launched or go to die. Right. So I think that's wrong. In the end, the game that's going to be popular and successful, other games need to be co-built by the community together. So for us, I think when we are working on a game, we actually kept ourselves stealth for a very, very long time to make sure that the game we are cooking is being validated from the gameplay side, that we feel confident to some extent. But once we hit that point, we want to review that game as soon as possible. So when you are looking at the AstrArk today, well, I would say, humbly speaking, it's pretty fun. But of course, there's a lot of issues and bugs. But we also want to be fragile to our community. We need all your feedback and inputs to help us to make the game together, to make the game better. Because without your input, we can't just cook the game to make something that gamers really love only by ourselves. Like we could have 3 people, 30 people, or even 300 people cannot represent who are the audience that we are trying to please, who are the audience that we want them to enjoy our game. So we definitely need the community's participant on that. So with that said, why rewards matter? Go back to the Moonbeam ecosystem, Moonbeam system of the loyalty program is something that we want to provide a long-term tracking as a potential indicator to validate the player's journey, player's identity, player's progression by looking at what they did, how they contribute, how they help us to make the game better, how they help us to make the ecosystem more complete, and then um, we can track their journey, we can track their progression by tracking the Moonbeam system, like regarding how many points they are. And along the journey, there would be different milestones for them to validate based on their badges, based on their achievement, so as to track how they could be the person that literally helping the community to be the core value contributor. And with that said, the value accrual could be from different ways, right? So the Moonbeam would be the key indicator, as what I mentioned, and it could be reflected in, for example, in the short term, more as an NFT whitelist. In the long term, the ERC20 airdrop, other NFTs whitelist, etc. Definitely, there's a lot of stuff on the way in the long term.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing details with us. Yeah, this is definitely very, very great vision and plan for the company and as a long term project, right? And so, and of course, that we I have been thinking that how we could really attract more users from Web 2 to Web 3. And being a professional gamer from your end, you have been in the industry for a long time. What attracts you into Web 3 and what other element that do you think could attract more Web 3 gamers to Web 3?
I think in the end, the mass adoption is going to be a result, right? It's not an approach. In the end, it's going to be a result. Um, if we are looking at the gamer today, if we are looking at the gaming industry today, I think we have to look at that from a dynamic way. That is no longer the case like 5 years ago, or decade ago, 2 decades ago. I think the audience are evolving super fast, right? So their taste has been picking up. They enjoy different type of games. They want to be more picky about the gameplay and the quality. While in the same time, I think the game developer and publisher are still sticking to the way how they run or operate the game, like how they did that 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, which is wrong. So I think to me, what matters to me most, or what kind of drove us to step into Web3, are the long-term belief of Web3 would be able to add value to the whole gaming industry by providing a couple of values in the long term. So I call that connection, validation, and legitimation. Okay, so connection is more about based on, for example, the ERC20 or the token, that we can connect the in-game achievement and the out-of-game rewards in a seamless way, right? So for those people who are doing great in the game, they can benefit from their out of the game without being endorsed by any like giant company or third party, which is on chain, right? So that's by default over there. And the validation is being validated by the smart contract regarding what you did is by default going to lead to some result, which is also going to be written on chain that doesn't need, for example, a Steam or PS to validate that from a giant company perspective. So with that said, there's a lot of transaction, there's a lot of behavior could be purely driven by the gamer community instead of relying on a game developer or publisher to make that happen. And then legitimation is about the ownership, right? So some people would say, in the past, developer owned that. Now I own the NFT, which is great. I kind of disagree because I think without the utility, the ownership means nothing. But to me, I do feel that the ownership is going to be empowering a new possibility, more as I call that the meritocracy approach from both sides, right? As a gamer, right now, I used to be pretty good at StarCraft 1, but I can't show any evidence in front of anyone because right now the publishers are changing, developers are changing, and nobody tracks the data, and there's no on-chain data back to 20 years ago. So I have no evidence to show. What if today, if someone is building a great RTS game, a great new type of StarCraft, how they can find me because there's no evidence to show that I used to be a pro gamer? Vice versa, right? So let's say if I want to play a pretty good game, I want to test it out, how I can show them that I am the right audience that they want to embrace, it's impossible. So in the long term, let's say the on-chain assets, the on-chain record would be able to track both the developer's track record as well as the gamer's track record. I think the identity validated on-chain would be able to empower, aka the meritocracy approach from both sides, right? So that's a long-term value from the connection, validation, and legitimation that we've been super excited about, that we feel in the long term it's about the true value Web3 assets and approach and technology would be able to bring to the traditional gaming industry. And once the value is there, I think the mass adoption, or AKA Web2 to Web3, is going to be a natural result instead of an approach.
Noted. Thank you so much, yeah, for using your aspect as a programmer and also as a builder in Web3, right, to share the view with us. And yeah, and a lot of our Web3 gamers and also actually all of the Web3 gaming industry, we have been like expecting there should be a game or more of the games that in Web3 could really achieve mass adoptions, right? Because to be honest, in Web3, if we achieve like 10,000 DAU, that is actually really good, right? And currently, the top ones probably about 200,000 DAU.
Yeah.
That's the top. It's already the top in the whole Web3 gaming space. But compared to other Web2 games, we still have a long way to go, right? So I would just keep thinking, yeah, how we could really, really achieve the goal and then to have a real mass adoption. So think, how long do you think that we still need to wait until this happens? That we could have about the similar number of Web3 gamers and compare Web2 and Web3. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm expecting a natural and dynamic change, right? So let's say today, if someone can do that from the traditional game publisher side or developer side, like Riot and Tencent, Blizzard, etc. I mean, as long as they want to do that, they can just require every single register to just click one, for example, aka SBT minting. It can drive the on-chain interaction or UAW to be extremely high, but it's meaningless, right? It's something that they can do that overnight. However, it's not literally a change for us to enjoy a mass adoption from Web3 gaming side. And if we are looking at the traditional gaming, I think the AKA mass adoption or the like millions level of DAU, MAU is something evolved in the past 2 decades, 3 decades, when the gaming are getting better and better. Even if we are looking at today from the Steam side, well, along the top games, of course, CS:GO and Dota are enjoying a super high DAU per day. But in general, for those games that kind of flash in the pan a little bit, Dave the Dive, etc. So if we are looking at their DAU today, it's still like 4 figures, 5 figures sometimes, which is quite normal. But in the end, it's going back to the fundamental value of what exactly is a content that could be leveraged as a part for people, for players to spend their time, spend their money in day and coming back again and again. So with that said, I do feel that there's a huge potential that the thing may happen super fast, but in the end, the value accrue from there, that the gamers need to understand what's the value from Web3, developers as well, right? They have to understand why they can help them to make better games, help them to make the ecosystem more complete. It requires the talent to come in the industry to bring real high quality products, not only games, but also like social or even DeFi. That requires some strong talent to come into this industry with strong creative and strong innovation to make it happen, empowered by a decentralized approach, right? So it's not going to be constrained by traditional giant internet company or gaming company. They can do that, co-build together with the community. Once they see that, I think the mass adoption would be a natural result, because the value is there for them to look at what will be the potential perks, what will be the potential good experience they can bring to the gamers, to the users in the end.
You are right. It's certainly not just that the game need to like to build better, right? But also actually the whole environment, right? Including like just like you say, DeFi, marketing, community building, and a lot more. That all need to improve, and more talent and more strong teams, right? More strong projects to join in Web3 space. And do you think this will be a trend for traditional gaming project to also try to join Web3 to build something, or do you think that they would, most of them would still prefer to stay in Web2? Because, well, saying that I'm from music industry, and
Yeah,
most of the musicians or singers, they still prefer to stay in the traditional music industry because that's a place that they could have a lot more audience listeners, when they host their concert, right? They could have like tens of thousands audience being there, right? But in Web3, it's so small scale of audience and company members over here compared to traditional music industry. So that's why even till now, most of the top-notch musicians or singers that they still don't want it to come to Web3. And also, yeah, of course, about regulations and other things that, and some people who do not really understand Web3 enough still think that it's a scam, right? So but since that you have been in the industry for so long and from Web2 to Web3, do you think it will be a trend, or do you think actually will still take a long time for them to really wanted to give it a try in Web3? Thank you for the gaming industry.
yeah. So I think for the general Web3 mass adoption, I think it's going to be a long-term thing, right? It requires a collective feedback, sorry, collective effort from every single one in the industry. While on Web3 gaming, I personally think it will be way faster than expected, in my personal opinion. So what I'm saying that is, I think for the fast change or for the mass adoption, there could be two type of change, right? It's either an active change, means that, oh, people realize there's huge value that could be brought over there, so all those people are transition from the traditional approach to the new approach. Example is, let's say, the picking up of mobile games in the past 10 years, right? Previously, people are mainly passionate, developers were mainly passionate about PC gaming, etc. But when they started to look at, oh, the smartphone is picking up and the infrastructure is getting better, mobile phone is the next future, you see a lot of the traditional PC gaming developers or console developers transition their focus from the traditional PC gaming or arcade gaming to the new mobile gaming. So that's more like an active change when they see the value there. The other way is passive change, right? So people don't want to change, but there would be something that they can't resist. They can't change, force them to make change. The example is pickup of Zoom, right? So Zoom used to be not that popular before COVID, but during the COVID, everybody was quarantined at home. Nobody can go out, but you still have to go to work. You still need to have meetings. Then Zoom became the mass adoption basically overnight, right? In that 6 months, if you remember around that time when the MAU and DAU of Zoom started to pick up and also the price started to hike. So that's more like a passive change. To me, I think for gaming is at the eve of both active change and passive change. right? So what I'm saying that is active change is what I just mentioned is I do feel that the value Web3 would be able to bring to gaming is already at there as a lower hanging fruit. It's just required the one last step for the good talent, good content, and good developer to come in to make that happen, to embody the whole approach there. Then people will see why Web3 regarding, as what I mentioned, the connection, validation, and legitimation can contribute to the value to the gaming industry. That's for the active change part. The passive change part is that right now you see that the traditional game development and publishing are starting to be malfunctional, right? If we are looking at the past 2 years or 3 years, how many new independent games with new IPs started to get mass adoption, being popular out of from scratch without any IP support? There's no one, right? If we are looking at the new popular games, even in the past 2 years, it's either IP play like Marvel Snap or franchise play. Franchise play means that you know the brand of the developer, like Riot Games. So Valorant, when it started to be popular, people knew that Riot Games are developing highly competitive esports-like games. So that will help them to kind of navigate the first 5 hours to 10 hours before they can enjoy the game. But there was even no single one independent studio who drive the mass adoption only by the gameplay. There's no one because the traditional publishing is no longer working. That means that the malfunctionality is driving those people to have to think about what's a new way for me if I have a good idea of the new gameplay, if I have a new idea of the game product, how I can embrace the new users by making an effective way to step into the market. Then Web3 would be on the table, right? So I feel that right now it's at the eve of both active change and passive change. That's going to happen very soon.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing the insightful information. And now we would like to also, yeah, come back to focus on the Moonveil and AstrArk project over here. The next question is that what's your vision of Moonveil and AstrArk, or and well, would you like to share any challenges that you have encountered while building these, should I say, like ecosystem, right? Because it is not just one single project, but actually it has more to offer to the community. So would you like to share your vision and then also any challenges that you have encountered while building your mobile ecosystem? Thank you.
Yeah, sure. So our vision is to utilize cutting edge technology that we want to craft top notch in gaming experience. I'm kidding. Yeah, this is the wording from the Twitter. I think what we really want to do is that we want to bring some true innovative and interesting gameplay to the industry while also effectively leveraging Web3's feature technology to make people feel it's authentic, it's native, it's natural, while they can also see the value from there by enjoying the gaming and also the Web3 feature together. So I do see there's a lot of potential explanation more as a financialization approach, right? So by leveraging decentralized financialization tool to make the capital flow more efficiency, to drive the gamers to find their better proposition in the ecosystem and contributing to the ecosystem to make the game better. So that's something that we aspire to make as our vision, starting from high quality, good game, especially good core gameplay, to embrace the gamers and users while making them feel the value of Web3 naturally. That's what we want to do. And regarding the challenge, there's a bunch of challenge for sure. Making games is never easy, and making some fun game and good game is extremely hard, right? So with that said, I would say the challenge one is how we can embrace the gamers' feedback to deliver the high quality product itself is already a quite challenging thing. What making things even more difficult as a challenge too is, which is a little bit in depth, but um, I think it's challenging us about how we can better revise or improve our live ops approach. Right, when we are talking about live ops, means that game is not a one-off shipment. It requires the long-term iteration, day by day, week by week, to, for example, change the bug, improve the quality, and also make new game content to make players feel that they want to come back and engage again and again. That's called live ops. In the past, when I was at Riot in the traditional gaming industry, all those live ops roadmap would be able to be planned like way earlier in advance based on, for example, for Lunar New Year, April Fool to, let's say, Snowdown Showdown, Christmas, etc. At which each of the single point of the milestone, we know how to plan the core content to be rolled out that people can enjoy. But I think in Web3, we have to be even more agile, right? Because the market is fluctuating. There could be good days, there could be bad days, and that will significantly impact whether the NFT would be welcomed. Would players be interested in transact and trade the assets with each other, right? So with that said, we have to be agile to prepare the content, being aligned with the milestone, and also being able to adjust that based on the market change, based on the fluctuation, which basically is adding another layer of difficulty on the live ops. I think that's the second part. Third part, of course, is talents, right? Building teams, how we can find the best talents from the industry to help us bring the real Web3 game experience to our audience for sure.
Wow, definitely that's really really important, right? All of the aspects, and just yeah, keep looking for more talents and joining the team and expanding the community and expanding the project's ecosystem. Nice. And once again, friends, I wanted to share AstrArk's official Twitter handle to our audience. So that if you just join us at this moment, you would not miss it, right? Be sure to give AstrArk a follow, and also be sure to follow the Moonveil official Twitter handle. And I would also like to share another screen is that right now, yeah, we are featured on the front page of Binance Live over here. So friends, are if you are watching us through different social media platforms, because we are streaming across many different platforms. And if you're watching, for example, you're watching us on Twitter, right? You can also go to Binance and then go to Binance.com and find the live section. You're going to see us, our banner over here, and then we'll also screenshot these and share it with you later, MJ. Yeah, this is a good keepsake. And next time, we hope, yeah, we could really see you play the game to show us, because that must be very exciting. And before we wrap up today's session, do you have any additional information that you'd like to share with our audience? Thank you.
I think you basically cover all the information that I want to share, and super excited to see the AstrArk Alpha test started to come live. So I would highly recommend go download the game, try the game. It's super fun, and you will see a lot of interesting content and interaction from there. That's one. And the other part is step back a little bit. Is I that's the part that I talk to a lot of community as well. That I personally, as a builder and CEO of Moonveil, I want to be agile to you guys. Right? It's the game that we are shipping right now is our alpha test, and this is not a game from the existed beta, from the existed game studio, etc. This is something that we built up from scratch in the past 12 months. Right. So right now the game quality and the core gameplay is there. It's good enough to enjoy, but in general, there's a lot of part that needs to be improved in the future. So you will see bugs, crashes, slow loadings, and even some in-game glitches, etc. Lots of them. So I do need your help, your input, your feedback to help us to make the game better. And all your contribution or your input, your feedbacks will be embraced, and we will highly appreciate that. Not only from verbal perspective, but also would love to embrace you guys in the ecosystem to see the long-term perks together.
That is very nice. And I'm also sharing where to download AstrArk. You can actually find it on Google Play, or you could go to Moonveil's official channel and find the link tree link and then download the APK package to start to play. Once again, thank you, MJ, for your time. And feel free to click on leave the still button and continue your day or take a break. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it, and very glad to be here. Thank you, Moonlight,
Thank
to
you.
host AMA. I appreciate it too.
Let's keep in touch and schedule another.
Yeah,
Thank
absolutely.
you.
All right. Thank
And
you. See you guys.
see you. Thank you. And for friends who just joined us, no worries, we still have replays. So we'll have replays available across different social media platforms as well. And now we would like to play our ending video and let's say bye to friends from different platforms who are watching us. Thank you. Okay, Doc, you would like to say bye to friends who are watching us on our, let me see, over here, YouTube Live.